All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. It is, in fact, opening day in Saratoga for the racetrack. Of course, they've got all the races on here throughout the country, and now you can add Saratoga to the docket. And while you're here, you can enjoy a nice lunch buffet for $9.95. It includes a coffee or a soda. And, of course, you can go next door and bet at the OTB. This is a great place to be. Awesome atmosphere for lunch and dinner. And don't forget, Sunday brunch from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. Mike brings out all the goods, all the eggs, the French toast, a lot of the lunch menu items as well. So get on down here to Sunday brunch at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. They've got the Sunday brunch. They've got the lunch buffet. They have all you can eat boneless wing specials and steak specials and spaghetti meatball specials. So make sure you get down here, eat some good food, have some great drink, and of course get their desserts to go as well. They do deliveries as well. So if you possibly getting ready to get back to school, you're looking to do some different things for your business, make sure that you do lean on the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. And again, next door at the OTB, you can bet as well. I want to get into a little bit of the Buffalo Bills storylines here for training camp as we are fast approaching NFL camps. Isn't it unbelievable? It usually happens this way, where we enjoy the July 4th holiday, and then bang, bang, and football camp is here, and then August hits, and all of a sudden, if you live in central New York, you're at New York State Fair, and then bang, Syracuse starts, and Labor Day, and all that kind of stuff, and then kids go right back to school. I mean, that's how fast it happens in central New York, and that's how fast it happens in a lot of places as well. But NFL camp for the Buffalo Bills, I think when you're looking at I've got three key storylines for the Buffalo Bills in 2019 in terms of preparation for the season for Josh Allen and crew. And let's start right there. Number one storyline for me is going to be Josh Allen in terms of the command that he has of the offense. What you've read from the OTAs, what you've read from other places, is Josh Allen has been implementing new things into the offense. Josh Allen has been given more of a command of the offense. Josh Allen has been implementing some K-gun things into the offense via the coaching staff and Brian Dable and company, trying to get him to get the ball out quicker, trying to improve on that accuracy. And look, for all the guys that they brought in, I will get to them in just a second, but the reality of the situation here is that Josh Allen himself, in order to be an elite quarterback in this league, Josh Allen can do a lot of things himself to improve in order to make this football team better. Think about the amount of things that Tom Brady does, Aaron Rodgers does, Drew Brees does, Ben Roethlisberger has done, Peyton Manning used to do. Think of how many deficiencies are on a football team, and yet the quarterback, if the quarterback has his shit together, can literally cut those deficiencies in half. I mean, let's be honest right now. With the amount of scrambling and the throws and the IQ stuff that Rodgers has done, Tom Brady with his leadership and picking apart defenses and doing the reads that he does and signaling out and understanding what's coming and what's not in the preparation and all that, those are all things that cut down on the deficiencies of a football team. Let's say your pass rush isn't as good as somebody else's. Let's say your running game isn't as good as somebody else's. Let's say your third wide receiver isn't as good as somebody else's. Well, all those quarterbacks can do some things on the football field and move the ball down the field and score and continue to get third downs better than a lot of other quarterbacks, and that's why those teams are in the playoffs regularly. Russell Wilson, again, is another guy who's phenomenal at it. So to me, it's got to be the Josh Allen factor in terms of him, number one, taking the necessary step forward. Now, my second storyline, of course, is all the newcomers on both sides of the football, highlighted by certainly, I think, Cole Beasley and John Brown at wide receiver. The Buffalo Bills finally now have major deep threats, and they have a slot guy who can help Josh Allen out in terms of possession. Cole Beasley, a guy who can go across the middle. John Brown is just a burner down the field. So you've got that situation. We know the Bills are going to mix and match some tight ends in there, of course. They bring in Frank Gore for depth in the backfield. We'll see what happens with that. LaShawn McCoy, I'm sure, will have some of his carries limited, but the Bills will certainly look to give the veteran Frank Gore a little bit of work here. And I think this team is really primed and ready on the defensive side as well, led by Ed Oliver. I mean, I think this defense could be one of the better ones in the National Football League. And when you take a look at that secondary, the safety tandem that they have with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde is phenomenal. I think the pass rush will be fine. We'll see Jerry Hughes. Of course, he got that deal. I thought for what the market is, I thought the Bills stole Jerry Hughes in terms of keeping him in Western New York for the long haul. And then you take a look at Ed Oliver, a guy who was a top 10 pick out of Houston. This guy is an absolute locomotive, an absolute monster, and I think he's going to be a big difference maker for Buffalo, and we'll see what he can offer. My third storyline, actually, is who's going to be the immediate leader of this football team now that Kyle Williams is gone. We know that they've had multiple leaders on the team when Kyle Williams was still around. Kyle Williams, Lorenzo Alexander. There's been certain guys that have been certainly a part of this team. But you know what? Speaking of the newcomers, by the way, Mitch Morse is a center who was with the Kansas City Chiefs, who Patrick Mahomes told my buddy Scott Petoniak in Rochester, Buffalo fans are going to love this guy, and he's also a big-time leader. Is it Mitch Morse, perhaps? We'd all love for it to be Josh Allen. On the defensive side of the football, though, I think it's immediately right to Lorenzo Alexander. This guy has been a major veteran presence. He's a great community guy. He's a team guy. He keeps people together. I think Lorenzo Alexander probably on the defensive side, and then the offensive side, we want it to be Josh Allen, but we're really not sure if he's going to be all the way full bore that leader of the offense, although he probably has to be because he's the quarterback of the team, and that's what the NFL is. If you're the quarterback, you have got to lead. You're the face of the team. You're literally arguably the most important position in all of professional sports, and so it would make sense that we could point to and hope for Josh Allen to be that exact guy. But I'm pumped up for training camp. I think it's going to be one of the bigger ones for the Bills in recent memory, with all the newcomers coming in, from Mitch Morse to John Brown to Cole Beasley to all the draft picks. You have a look here at Ed Oliver. I thought the Bills did a really, really nice job in the draft. Again, I thought they got a bunch of needs, and I thought that they filled a lot of holes. And now it's just going to be a matter of time for it all to kind of come together. The coaching staff is pretty much the same from last year. Sean McDermott leading the way as head coach. And, of course, we're going to see what kind of a game plan Brian Daboll has for Josh Allen and company. I think this is going to be a phenomenal opportunity for Josh Allen to take some of the technique from Brian Daboll, try to get the ball out a little bit quicker, try to improve on that accuracy, try to become a little bit more of a leader, try to have more of a command of the offense. If he does those things, Buffalo Bills may have an opportunity to make the postseason yet again in 2019. Remember, a couple years ago, they snuck in. Tyrod Taylor was quarterback at that time. They got a break when the Bengals got the 4th and 14. But the Bills, I think, have a very, 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 very good chance in 2019 to grab one of the wild cards. It's going to come down to Josh Allen and the offensive line. And, oh, by the way, look at that. The same thing is happening for Syracuse football. I've said for so long that Syracuse and the Bills have so much in common. But if the offensive line and the quarterback play well in 2019, the ceiling, how high can it go? Thanks for watching 9 Minutes with me here from the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. I'm Mike Lindsley. It is IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook. Make sure that you hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports and download my podcast. It's called the ML Sports Platter, all over Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Later today, I'm going to have St. Bonaventure basketball great J.R. Bremer on my podcast. I can't wait. And you know right where I'm going to go in the beginning with that shot that he made to help beat Temple 19 years ago, January 15th, 2000. Unbelievable scene at the Riley Center. Probably my favorite game in the 4 years that I was there, at least one of them. And Bremer will come on and talk about his memories, what he's doing now, and a heck of a lot more. Make sure you get on down here to the Phoenix Sports Restaurant for their phenomenal lunch buffet, $9.95. It includes a soda or a coffee. You can come on down, grab dinner, order for a delivery. You've got all kinds of things going on here at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. And as you can see, horse racing season is now in full gear because Saratoga has opened today. You can see all the races on the big boards and then go bet next door at the OTB. Make sure you take dessert to go as well and enjoy a cold beverage up at the bar with Mike and the gang. They do a spectacular job at the Phoenix Sports Restaurant. Sunday brunch as well, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.